Hola Bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic Official. Welcome to episode 14 of season 8. I'm Magic Mel, Owl, one of my spirit guides. I hope you're doing well wherever you're sitting. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is where I share the unfolding of my own spiritual journey in real time. I'm a bit like the dude in Avatar recording his updates while he did it daily. I'm not doing it daily, but pretty consistent over the past 1.5 years now, almost 2 years. So proud of myself. But you know what? It just comes bubbling out of me. This is an act, an expression of my joy. It literally brings me energy. I always encourage you to follow your bliss, a la Joseph Campbell, follow your curiosity, follow what lights you up, because that is your highest calling. Literally, when your eyes go like this, that's the way to go. So this channel is one of these expressions of my personal joyful creations. How has your week been? It's been definitely one of the most colorful weeks, I must say. You know, from my last episode that I had the full moon ceremony, first spiritual event at Casa Lili. Was very proud of that. And then I pulled a reading for you guys. And you know what? It really tripped me out. I had to go back to that reading because I felt that reading was playing out in my own life. That's why today, actually yesterday, I started Sunday pausing, reflecting, doing my dream analysis, because my dreams actually are messages from my subconscious. They help me navigate my conscious life, my 3D, my waking life. So I always spend not only Sundays, but particularly the end of the week to reflect on what happened, what went down, to process things before I go forward. And what I did is I pulled a few cards as an extension of the last reading. So since the reading was meant for you, but as it stands, you know, we're all connected, and a lot of us are going through similar experiences, the same stages of the ascension process, and are part of the same soul cycle. I thought that the cards that I pulled for myself might resonate with you. So what I'm going to do is go back to the original reading, just to recap, and then I'll extend it to the cards I pulled yesterday. You tell me in the comments box if it resonates with you. So we started with the Hierophant. Remember, the Hierophant is all about following our own inner Hierophant, kind of having distilled what serves us in terms of spirituality, in terms of values. And this is an interesting one because in this week also I came across different people who told me, you know, they're on the spiritual path. And I figured that there's different ways of going about this. Personally, I'm not interested in intellectualizing the spiritual path. I'm not really interested in the mechanics of astral travel for the sake of it. For me, the path is important because, or the only personally, I'm only interested in the spiritual path if it leads me back home to the heart and to love, self-love. I'm not interested to remain on a conceptual, abstract, academic level. Really over that. So this is what I mean. Follow your own inner guide, your own inner shaman, which is that little voice in your heart, in your intuition that is guiding you. That's how we started off. And being the Hierophant, or listening to our own inner voice, doesn't exempt us from getting overwhelmed with or being dished out with choices in the 3D. It's interesting, again, look at the colors, the green and the red and the white, the red and the white and the yellow. Telling you guys, synchronicities at play. So we pulled this one in the reverse, which is the Seven of Cups, which was all about temptation, choices, being a little bit overwhelmed and seduced by all of these different choices. And look at the content of this: goods and wealth and shiny objects, having dragons, or even hidden deception. So we were encouraged to get out of this distraction of the glittery, all that glitters in a 3D. Because this week, definitely we came up with conflicting interests. And I told you that I see the red as you, remember? So there's you kind of luchando or trying to stand your ground, testing your own values against other people's values, against other people's projections, with everyone holding a wand, but that signifies their own passion, their own idea of what maybe what they wanted out of it. I definitely came across this week. I was in different situations where I thought that we were sharing the same wand, i.e. the same idea about something, but actually people had their own notion about it. And I was like, okay, is that still me, Magic Mel, or does this just serve as contrast? So coming out of the Seven of Cups, coming out of this conflict of confusion and petty drama, because what it did, and this is a clarifier I pulled, is just add unnecessary burden. And an important thing on this journey is really to discern what is ours to carry and what is someone else's baggage, responsibility, projection, idea. It's all about self-honoring, knowing where our limits are, knowing how far we want to extend ourselves, knowing what we want to give in exchange of what. That was also an important question to ask myself. Does what I get in exchange of what I'm putting out serve me? Is it of the same value? Does it expand me? Does it excite me? Does it satisfy me or not? If we take on too much from other people, we overburden ourselves, and ça ne sert à rien. It doesn't serve anyone. So it's very, very important to check in with your inner voice and see, is this yours or is this mine? And if it's yours, am I willing to carry it or am I giving it back? What came after was judgment, a liberation, knowing that, the angelic frequency is actually sitting within us. It's up to us to listen to that higher calling, that higher frequency, to provide us clarity out of the burden, out of the conflict of interest, and out of the shiny object syndrome. It's listening, coming back to ourselves, reflecting, not judging ourselves for having gone out to experience different scenarios, different things, new people, but coming back to home base. Coming back to what is really important to us, what are we here to do, what our inner calling is, and how we would like to proceed. Clarity always comes from us connecting with our inner voice, sitting in stillness, listening. Now, the way forward after judgment was, this is the card I pulled, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So the Knight of Pentacles is a consistent energy. Look at him. He stands sturdy on his vehicle. He's got his caballo, his emotions under control. Both are on firm ground. What was before, what I see as passion, red as passion, is now evenly distributed between the horse of emotions and the armor of the knight. And he holds his pentacle, he knows his value, and he's consistently going towards his true goals by making a strategy, devising a plan, and following a routine. This is in the reverse because we are literally encouraged to do that, to go back to the drawing board after clarity, after connecting with our inner purpose and making a framework. If you're somebody like me who is interested in a lot of things and is self-employed, is an entrepreneur, is a spiritual entrepreneur, is literally creating something different outside of the matrix, then I'm telling you and I'm telling me it's useful to have a framework. Some loose guidelines, goals, and consistent framework so we can work little by little every day at the things that are most important to us. That doesn't mean that we don't still follow our intuition if our intuition in the moment causes in another direction. For example, today I wrote down, okay, I'm going to go for my swim in the evening. But my intuition in the morning said, no, go now. Actually, it was a good thing because it was a little bit stormy and the storm came after I swam. So had I gone in the evening, I wouldn't have been able to go. So I always still follow my intuition. But I also write down, okay, what is it that I want to achieve today? So I have something to guide me and I'm not totally like free floating. Okay. So create some routine, a schedule for you that you can follow. So you're a little bit contained. Constraints are better to work with, guys. Otherwise, we really have all possibilities and we don't know where to start. Yeah. So the yellow is the happiness, fulfillment, and that is what the knight is actually working towards. He knows that he knows his own worth. He knows what his value is. He knows the pentacle that he's after. That's another thing, what he would like to get in exchange. And he knows that consistent work will provide the long-lasting fulfillment he's after, you're after, I'm after. Yeah. And by working consistently, we will literally fulfill our star legacy, our our true purpose here. And that is we can debate on that, what is our true purpose? I do believe we have several different callings throughout our lifetime. But for example, mine at the moment is really sharing my story because I feel that it's important to share how I got out of the depression, how I got out of powerlessness, guilt, shame, all of those lower vibrations, and I'm now thriving. I feel it may be useful. I'm not sharing it to save anyone, but to hopefully inspire some of you. Okay? So that is my star legacy. And always following my joy, because I am of no use to anybody out there if I myself am not anchored in a high frequency. That's why I also recommend you to have me as a coach, because I'm walking the talk. I'm not just saying something from theory and then living a completely different life. I'm literally doing it in the present moment. I am the living example. Let's put it that way. So to working towards our goal will lead us to this fulfillment, to our heart's desires, to the fulfillment of our heart's desires, to our higher calling, and to our legacy. My legacy is to leave a trail of joy, magic, and beauty in my wake, in my path, whatever shape that will take. And with that in mind, I tackle every day. So I always have this bigger picture in mind. No matter what happens during the day, I zoom out and say, Magic Mel, remember what you're here for. Remember your purpose. Remember what you would like to leave behind. And that, I feel, is a healthy way of looking at things, because you know what, guys? We take life for granted sometimes, me included, if we do not have this notion very present that our time in this physical vessel is limited. Every day counts. Every day is unique. Every day, let's put it this way, no day will ever repeat itself. So are we making the most of it? Are we grateful for the things we have, for who we are, for the people around us? Memento mori, remembering that we will pass on, we will die at some point, is healthy because it is a contrast that brings us more into the present moment and makes us appreciate life more. So on this path, that was the last card I pulled, is of course our intuition, the High Priestess. And it's interesting because the reading started with the Hierophant and at this point finishes with the High Priestess. She's the mysterious one. She's the one that speaks to us through our intuition, through our body. She also reminds us that we do not have to have all the answers now, because that again is a form of control of our ego, of our mind, to want to know what will happen in the long run. What I've learned is that life reveals whatever is important in the moment, not more and not less. And it's up to us to accept that and to let go of control, because the need to control things comes out of fear. And fear is one of the biggest things we are here to transmute. And this is also why I feel it's important to share my story, because I have transmuted my fear. I am transmuting my fears. I'm sharing how I'm doing that. And I also always remind you that it's important to have a connection with the highest, whether it's the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it. Because without that, I wouldn't be able to walk with confidence and in faith. And faith means doing the action and believing in something that maybe is not manifest yet in the 3D, but that you know deep down is there. It also means that we go beyond our five senses and trust that there is a higher power, that we are protected by different angelic beings. It goes beyond the rational mind. The rational mind is a tool that we are blessed and endowed with to apply and to use in order to manifest and bring to life our heart's desires, our purpose. But it's not there to lead us. That is the one thing that took me down into depression, overthinking. I mean, it's not difficult to see that the zeitgeist nowadays is coming out of this mass psychosis, this mass overthinking, coming out of the mind back into the body, back into the heart, and living by the heart, leading by the heart. And the heart is courageous. Etymologically, cœur, courage. You can only be courageous if you are in your heart, if you come from the heart and if you have faith. And again, faith is only possible if you believe in this higher power, if you believe that the universe is a benign intelligence and is there to support us on our mission. So that's my little recap from this week. And I had a dream also that reminded me that it's time to move on from trying to fit in. It's time to discern the relationships in our lives, to really ask ourselves with each relationship, does this relationship serve me? Is there an equal give and take? Does it nourish me? Does it fulfill me? Does it uplift me? Does it inspire me? Does it reciprocate? Does it appreciate me? If not, I am cutting people out. Whether it's through not paying any attention anymore, because our attention is what feeds things, or by just being honest. And that doesn't mean being brutal or aggressive, but just being honest. Because I've noticed that people who do not change or evolve at the same pace as me project an old version they have in their head of me onto my present me. And up to now, I've become aware of that, and I kind of lowered myself into that past version. But I'm not here to make anyone feel comfortable anymore. My new requisite is I'm not coming down, I'm not lowering my vibration. Come up to meet me or see you later. That's it. Because you know what, guys? Time is finite here. Our energy is, well, we are infinite beings, but we only have so much energy to balance out and so much attention to give in the 3D vessel. And yeah, is it worth it, basically? Remember, I also told you, what are you doing, your habit, your relationships, are they worth it? If not, ask yourself why you're still holding on to them. It's a constant filtering process. We have to be the constant gardener of our consciousness to pluck out unuseful thoughts and beliefs. And within our space, our physical space, our emotional space, our relationship space, because everything is a relationship. But self-love is being able to honor yourself so much that you do not betray yourself by pretending to be somebody you are not. Self-love means honoring yourself, honoring your energy, honoring your time, valuing yourself, valuing the energy exchange. That's why I'm also I'm really working on the value of money, because money is an energy exchange, and a lot of us have so much trauma around money, so many limiting beliefs. Money per se is valueless, it's just a piece of paper, but we have agreed as a civilization, as a society, that it is the currency of exchange. Unfortunately, for a lot of things that cannot be bought. However, I believe we are transitioning into a new society. I believe in the arguments that Charles Eisenstein is putting forth, that eventually we will encourage and bring out each other's gifts, and then that will be the ultimate exchange. But we are in a period of transition. So the value of money is important, because what we invest in is the same as our attention we make grow. So how do you spend your money? What do you invest in? How do you value yourself as an entrepreneur? The money that I receive through the service that I give through my coaching is being put to good use. And I am ambitious. I want to create something beautiful. And that still requires money nowadays. I'm not ashamed to ask, it's my water bottle, to ask for a certain price and to even go up. Because ultimately it nourishes my life, and it nourishes what I then invest in, what I support, and what I share out and give out. It is a flow of energy. So ask yourself, if you're also an entrepreneur, are you valuing yourself enough in terms of the exchange that you are, que estás pidiendo, that you're putting on, the price that you're putting on your services? It's important. It's not something to diminish. It's interesting, yesterday I bought this one again. You might roll your eyes, doesn't matter. I read it, I think, 3 times already, but I like the essence of the story, this coming back, going on this journey only to come back to yourself, only to find the treasure back home. It's being the heroes of our journey. It happened to me in my own life. I left this place when I was 19, and 20 years later, I came back here to discover the real treasure, which was me. I had to heal here. I had to build myself up again. And I realized that everything that I was looking for by traversing all of these different countries and continents spanning over those 20 years was me, was the fragments that I was trying to bring back together, my soul fragments, my energy, my different timelines. And here I am, whole again, and creating something completely new. This is going to be my bedtime story. I like fables, I really, really do. And I think I'll leave it at that, guys. You tell me what resonates. I think I've said everything that I feel is important. I feel that my coaching work is important. I feel that my channel is important. Because Magic Mel is unique. I always tell you also, find someone you resonate with. If you are on this journey, if you want to alchemize, if you want to change, if you want to transmute things, find someone you resonate with. Find someone who has gone before, who can guide you, and someone who inspires you. It can be me, it could be someone else. That's the beauty of diversity, and that's the importance of everyone sharing our voice, because everyone has a different flavor. I'm not going to vibe with everyone, you might not vibe with me, and that's okay. The important thing is to find the person you do resonate with. But if you resonate with me, I encourage you to contact me. I've got my website with information of my different coaching packages. I've got the information in the description box below, my email. Hit me up, guys. The work is important. And I highlight this because your healing affects everyone. My healing affects everyone because we are connected, guys. We really are. So it's only in my highest good that you do the work too, so we can hand in hand ascend together and create something different. Because once we are out of the trauma And out of these patterns, we can be present enough to create something completely brand new, guided by spirit. And that's where the fun starts. That's where beautiful collaborations and co-creations take place. That's when we stop being in survival mode and start thriving. This is the time to thrive, guys. And regardless of what's happening overall, I'm optimistic because so many of us are doing the work. And if you're inspired to do the work, then find the support that you feel you need. Look up different healing modalities, different coaches, different therapies, and go for it because you're worth it. Because your gifts that are buried within under trauma need to be released and shared. It will make the world a more abundant and colorful and diverse place, a more peaceful place, a more loving place. And isn't that what we want? Aren't we tired of the old narratives, of the negativity, of the same old story being projected into the world? It's time to liberate our mind. It's time to come out of this enslavement and to really rise again as human beings who carry the spark and the seed of divinity within us. So that's that. And I also want to encourage you, if you appreciate my channel, if you appreciate my videos, donate to my channel. I appreciate it. Owl appreciates it. My spirit team appreciates it. And yeah, it can be one way for you to show that you would like to exchange some energy here. Okay, so I'm encouraging you to donate. I'm encouraging you to contact me. And I'm encouraging you to comment, share, like, and subscribe if you vibe with me. It helps my channel grow. Et voilà. That's it, Bansit. I'm going to pull some new cards for you now that we've concluded this crazy week in the next episode. But any comments, you know that I appreciate them. I'll see you for episode 15. Ciao. Walk in faith and walk with confidence, which is the same thing. Faith, confidence. Ciao, bandidos.